It's working now. Perfect. All right. It's a pleasure to be here again. This is my third time attending, and it's always great to come back and see everyone that I know from multiple other parts of the liberty movement come together in person. So, as was introduced, my name is Mason. I'm here representing two organizations, Atlas Island and LiberArx, and our motto is "Vote with your boat." So, Joe Quirk told you a great story about seasteading, and we're obviously at the Free Cities Conference. From my perspective, the Free Cities Conference, Free City movement in general, and seasteading are a perfect match for each other. Because I truly believe that the Free Cities model is the model of the future. But it has one flaw that seasteading addresses perfectly. And that is that until seasteading, free cities are all based on land, and that makes them subject to the whims of government that can change on a dime and put even the best projects like Morazon at risk. When you use seasteading technology with floating cities outside the jurisdiction of any government, this allows you more freedom and more resilience to the changes of these governments. As well, aside from the regulatory advantages, seasteading also offers a practical advantage in that when you have a modular city, you can literally take the different buildings and move them apart and join them together and have true a marketplace of governance where buildings themselves can move between different cities. So Atlas Island is the first project I was involved with. It's a nonprofit, a community organization that developed a 5-stage plan in order to bring seasteading to reality. Briefly, these stages are an online community or a network state, which we're currently developing. After this, we intend to get people actually living on the water in structures, as Joe mentioned, like the ArcPad or the CPod or the LiberArx. And after that, we have a few more stages where we intend to move those communities together into larger and larger floating communities and eventually move that community offshore. Identified, though, that the biggest hurdle is actually getting land-based people to move onto the water. There is a large movement of people living on sailboats, but most people who live on land aren't willing to make the compromises necessary to live on a sailboat. A rocking, small, cramped vessel with uncomfortable accommodations and frankly a lower standard of living compared to most apartments on land, which is why I founded my company, LiberArx. LiberArx, our mission is to provide a platform for seasteading in general and Atlas Island in particular. So we focused on developing what I call a floating house designed for the sovereign individual. Unlike other seasteading projects, the key differentiating factor with the LiberArx is that our vessel is mobile. That means that you have the freedom to join a seasteading movement, participate in the community, but also the freedom to move around the world and live as a digital nomad or a retiree and let you enjoy anywhere you want to go in the world. It also allows the flexibility to easily swap jurisdiction by swapping your flag. So like I said, it's perfect for digital nomads or retirees. And the design that we've come up with for this vessel, which I'll be presenting in a few minutes, will be released under a Creative Commons non-commercial share-alike license, meaning that anyone has the ability to build a vessel for themselves or to modify their vessel, to fix their vessel, being truly sovereign over their own property, their house. And this will help us build a community of owners as well as empower the owners around their vessel. So with no further ado, I present to you the rendering of LiberArx 64, our first model. And this is designed truly as a floating home, ideally for an untethered nomadic lifestyle or the sovereign individual. If you've built your life around the nomad ideas of cutting ties to things like banks and states and other institutions, the one thing you probably haven't been able to cut yet is your need for somewhere to sleep. Because no matter how much you may try to move on to the digital world, you need somewhere to live and you need somewhere to sleep. This is why having a floating house that allows you to go anywhere in the world allows you to truly cut that last cord and be a true digital nomad and independent from the state. Briefly, this boat is about 19.5 meters long by 9 meters wide, and it has a draft of about 1.2 meters, meaning that it's large enough to go almost anywhere in the world, but small enough that you can also get into the more narrow waterways in places like Europe. In fact, this boat could actually sail right into the river here in Prague. In addition to the ability to move around, we focused on independence, which a lot of people in the Free Cities movement value. And in order to achieve that, we put a large solar array on the roof and a battery bank. This means that the boat will allow you to live a comfortable life wherever you are in the world with no need for external power. You have all your electricity provided for you, no need to buy any diesel to hook up to the electricity grid. And you also have the ability to make water using water makers. So you're truly independent for mobility, power, water, place to live. The only thing that you really need to be independent is a supply of food. And luckily with a big boat, you can have a supply of food as well. So as I said, this is designed to go anywhere in the world. We've designed this vessel to the CEA certification level, which means that it's certified to cross oceans. It can cruise continuously at 5 knots on solar power alone, or with a diesel generator, or for shorter bursts, you can go up to 8 to 10 knots at a time. And it has the full sensors you need to make ocean crossings. That being said, this is designed first and foremost as a sovereign home. Unlike other boats, the focus is really on the life aboard and the life at anchor. The vessel has about 110 square meters of interior space, which is comparable to many apartments in Europe and North America. Perfectly suitable for a family of 2 to 4 and up to 6, depending on how cozy you want to get. It's also got a relatively large exterior deck space of 42 square meters. And the entire interior space, again, unlike other boats, is properly insulated and conditioned, meaning that you don't need to worry about the humidity and the condensation and the discomfort of living on a boat. It'll feel just like you're in a waterfront apartment. It's also got panoramic window views so that wherever you are in the world, you can take it in. And once you buy one of these, you've essentially bought yourself a floating apartment that lets you go anywhere in the world and experience the best quality of life possible. So a few more detailed pictures of the vessel. The front deck is large. It's appropriate for sunbathing, just hanging out, enjoying the views wherever you are. I can imagine myself hanging out there on a Caribbean island, tropical paradise, maybe away from civilization, and spending a couple weeks just relaxing. We also have a rear deck where you can set up a lounging area, maybe put a barbecue and enjoy the outdoor lifestyle when it's too hot to be in the direct sun. Now going to the interior of the vessel. The vessel is really designed around what I call the apartment, or a large single-level flexible living space. As you can see, there is a large amount of area that's common. In addition to the space you see, because everything's on one level, both of the hulls, or the areas under the boat, provide ample storage for all of your goods, your belongings, food, anything you want to bring with you anywhere in the world. And that gives you the ability to truly be self-sufficient and off-grid. This is also a prepper's dream. Instead of building a cabin in the woods where you try to stockpile things, why not have a beautiful boat where you can go to tropical paradise and bring a 2-year supply of food with you, as well as your energy and your water, and live the good life, even if the world goes in the bad direction. A little bit more detail, the vessel also comes with a setup for a home office with high-speed internet. Thanks to Starlink and other satellite internet providers, digital nomads now have the ability to work from anywhere in the world in comfort and style. We've also included a full-size kitchen. Unlike other boats, it's got proper appliances, allowing you to cook and prepare proper meals and live a comfortable lifestyle. There's, of course, a dining area, a seating area, and there's a flexible living space across there that you can see. You could use whatever furniture you want. If you want to make it an exercise room, a living room with a couch, however you want to set up the interior of this vessel, it's very flexible. Looking to the cabins now, the master suite has a proper king-size bed. We're not talking a cramped little bed that you'd find at other boats, as well as a large closet. We also provide an ensuite bathroom with 2 sinks and a full-size walk-in shower. On the opposite side of the vessel, we have 2 of these bedrooms, which can be configured. As you've seen here, this is the reference setup that has 2 single beds in a bunk bed format, but if you only need to use 1 bed per room, you can fold the second one up, and it provides more closet space and more headroom for the lower bed. Each of those rooms also has their own dedicated bathroom. So really, when you're looking at this vessel as a whole, you're talking a proper kitchen, a living room, an office, dining area, a master suite, and 2 bedrooms with up to 4 additional beds. So between 2 and 6 people can live comfortably on this vessel. It's really designed for a family-style life. So in summary, the LiberArx is a no-compromise seastead. It provides all the comforts that you would expect from a waterfront apartment, with all the mobility that you'd want from a boat, and the freedom to live autonomously on the high seas when seasitting becomes a reality. It is designed really to maximize your freedom, but also your flexibility, and allow you to enjoy life. No matter where you want to go, whether that's here in Prague at the Free Cities Conference, living in a seastead, living in Prospera just off the shore, or anywhere else, the LiberArx can take you there. Some examples of places you could anchor it. You could go to Malta and enjoy the beautiful city of Valletta, one of the most beautiful ancient cities in Europe. The boat could take you there. You could spend a month there, enjoy your life there. And then when you get tired of it, or the winter comes and you want to get out of the Mediterranean for the winter, you could take it to the British Virgin Islands and anchor on a secluded beach and enjoy your life there. But eventually the long-term goal is that when seasteading gets more developed and built and we have arc pads around, we can bring the seasteads together and have a floating paradise in the middle of the ocean. So we're now ready to accept orders for the LiberArx. I've met with a shipyard. One of my colleagues here was graceful enough to accept us, and we've spoken to them. We've spent a lot of time optimizing this design. We've gotten a quote to produce this at a European shipyard, which obviously is very high-end, very high quality for $1.5 million. But I've also been in talks with builders in Asia, and we believe that with a proper batch of production, we can produce these for $750,000 each. So what we're looking for now is for the first 1 to 5 people to step forward, contact me, and say that you want to be the first person to live on a LiberArx. Ideally, you're someone who is willing to be a brand ambassador. You know, you've seen all the sailing channels on YouTube. I want to see seasteading channels where 3 to 5 people buy a LiberArx, travel around the world, enjoy the lifestyle, and show it off to everyone else. Because when that happens, we'll develop the critical mass, and then we can start batch producing these in volume and make this affordable. And you may say $750,000, that's a little bit expensive. But I can tell you that nowhere else in the developed world can you get a nice waterfront apartment for this price and with these views, let alone the ability to move and travel. So I truly believe that this is going to be excellent value for the money, and I'm looking for people to help me move this forward and start placing the orders now. If you place your order today, we can likely have this to you by the end of next year, potentially by this conference next year. You could be sailing to Prospera in your LiberArx and represent the brand and help us grow seasteading and move it from the vision that Joe Quirk expressed so eloquently into reality. So in summary, Atlas Island is a combination of the concepts of, oh, is it still up there? No? Okay. Go back? No. Anyways. There we go. Okay. Atlas Island is a combination of seasteading and free cities. The LiberArx is the vessel that will allow us to bring that into fruition in combination with Mitchell and the ArcPad, which will serve as a fantastic business hub. I believe we now have the technology ready to be produced to make seasteading happen. And the LiberArx will provide true independence and sovereignty to the sovereign individual. You've cut the ties with everything else. Now it's time to cut the ties with your home, with your nation state completely, be mobile, and embrace the life as a sovereign individual in free cities and seasteads. This is the final piece in the puzzle that you're looking for to untether your life from governments and be truly autonomous and sovereign. So I'm asking you to vote with your vote and order your LiberArx 64. You can contact me with the email address up there, mason@liberarx.com. So thank you very much for your time, and I look forward to working with you and hopefully receiving a few orders today. Any questions? Oh, okay. One there, then Titus, yeah.
Is the LiberArx vessel built with modularity in mind so that you can arrange, 5 or 10 one next to the other and then have a structure built up?
So the LiberArx is designed as a single family accommodation. It's not meant that you would lash a bunch of them into a community. What I envision from Atlas Island perspective is that families would own LiberArx, and then Mitchell's product, the ArcPad, would make a fantastic business district that could have businesses, potentially some rental units, and then you could moor up to one of those, and that would be the business district. So it'd be like, this would be the suburban family homes, and then the central district would be on other platforms like the ArcPad. Titus.
Yeah, thank you, Mason. This is very interesting. And I'm interested, what about heavy seas and wave heights? You have to cross the Atlantic to get from the Mediterranean to the West Indies. It's a small boat and it's not too high. So have you thought about that, designed it for that? And what would you recommend to somebody who's afraid of storms?
Yeah, absolutely. So we strongly considered that. First of all, people cross the Atlantic all the time. You don't do it in the North Atlantic. You go down the coast of Africa, then you cut across in the calmer waters. They do it in much smaller and much less stable boats than this. I can tell you that this boat is a catamaran, and the only problems that catamarans ever experience nowadays are when they have a large sail up and the wind is too much and it causes them to flip over. Because we don't have a sail on this boat will survive any storm. Nothing's going to happen to it. Nothing's going to go wrong. Now the question is, how much can you tolerate as a person being on the boat? Because the boat will last longer than the people on it. But that being said, what you do then is you plan your route and you plan according to the weather. If there's a hurricane coming, you probably want to avoid that. I mean, the boat will survive. It'll go up and down across the waves, but it won't won't be comfortable on board. So it really can go anywhere you want. It's a question of how far you're willing to push the boat. Yeah, go ahead.
When will you move on one of these boats?
When will I move on one of the boats? So unlike the introduction, I am still working as a doctor. So I will move on one of these boats as soon as I'm making enough money selling them that I can quit my other job and move on to one myself. Sam, go ahead.
Yeah, to answer your answer to the gentleman's question, we can also deliver the boats to wherever you want it moored.
Yeah, there are charter captains you can hire that will sail across for you. So if you're in the Mediterranean and you don't want to cross the ocean, take a vacation, go for a couple months to French Polynesia, or a couple weeks to French Polynesia, and they'll meet you on the other side. All right, thanks again, everyone. I appreciate it.